Feroz Khan is a senior crime intelligence officer who has been suspended while facing several allegations, including corruption, procurement irregularities, and alleged links to organized crimes.
Guys like General Khan, Suleiman Karim, Kat Matlala, all of them being Muslim, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. Imagine they were all born-again Christians, taking communion and, all that sort of stuff, raising their hands in worship, part of a big church here in South Africa. Can you imagine what the media would be saying?
This is the Political Show.
Hey, and welcome to the Political Show right here on Active FM. I'm your girl Cynthia, but you can call me Gix. And with me in studio we have
Gavin Enston.
Pastor Gavin Enston, right here on the Political Show where Christ politics is
Hot politics.
Hot politics. And this week's Hot Politics, we are looking at the shooting of Major General Feroz Khan. And this shooting happened just days before he was due to testify before the Madlanga Commission. Pastor Gav, do you want to give a more brief explanation?
Yeah, so the claim was made that he was meeting with his lawyers on Sunday night in preparation for testimony he was about to give on Wednesday before the Madlanga Commission. And then what happened was that they said something just after 11 p.m. Sunday night that some guys came in, I don't know, I can't remember what kind of car it was, and they fired 2 bullets and he was shot and he was rushed to, I think it was the Mill Park Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously on Wednesday his lawyers appeared before the Madlanga Commission after having appeared before the press saying that that they were speculating and that there was concerns that there'd been leaks out of the Madlanga Commission which had led him to be shot. Justice Madlanga seriously took on the lawyers and basically warned them to get permission, before they make any sort of press statements in future. And the Justice Madlanga intimated that as far as he knew from when he was part of the Bar Association in South Africa, that what the advocate did, the Khan's advocate, that you could be disbarred for. So we're going to be looking into this because General Feroz Khan is a very shady dealer. And again, we've got a Muslim who's coming before the Madlanga Commission with allegations of serious corruption, with Muslim lawyers who use tactics that are not, in my view, ethical. And I also believe that this is more evidence of the attempted Muslim takeover of the South African economy, later to become the political takeover of South Africa and turn South Africa into an Islamic state.
Yeah.
And, people are not talking about this, but people on the ground are seeing this.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss the evidence with General Feroz Khan and, questions around the shooting and all sorts of stuff.
So obviously the timing has raised serious questions in terms of, was it simply an attempted assassination or is it connected to the allegations currently being investigated? That is what we're going to talk about and have a conversation about right here on the Political Show where Christ politics is
Hot politics.
Hot politics.
Waiting.
So here's what we know. General Feroz Khan was shot in Houghton, Johannesburg, and sustained a gunshot wounds to his lower abdomen. Police are investigating the incident as an attempted assassination, and he was due to appear before the Madlanga Commission where his legal team says he intended to testify about alleged corruption, organized criminal syndicates, and senior SAPS officials. Now, why does this matter? Feroz Khan is a senior crime intelligence officer who has been suspended while facing several allegations, including corruption, procurement irregularities, and alleged linked to organized crimes. And it's important to note that these allegations have not been proven in court, and his testimony was expected to be one of the commission's most significant. In terms of the thing. So what we know in terms of the shooting and stuff has raised a few questions. And some of the questions that have been raised are, Khan had previously raised concerns about, so this reports basically suggest that he has previously raised concerns about his safety. He reportedly had no official security detail. His vehicle allegedly showed no bullet damage despite him being shot.
Sorry, yeah.
And I think that is the
sorry.
biggest question that people are asking. One
Yeah,
of the biggest questions.
Sorry, you're in your car. And
Yeah.
a drive-by assassin shoots you and there's no bullet holes in the car. And
It's
it's winter,
raises.
so he wouldn't have been driving with his window open.
Yeah.
So,
We are in the middle of winter in South Africa,
in
if
the-
you did not know.
yes, so we're in the
Yes.
middle of winter, so your window probably won't be open. And he gets shot somehow. I mean, he must have been taken out the vehicle. I don't know. And there's no, from what I've seen, there's no CCTV footage,
Yeah.
which is in Houghton. How many cameras are there in Houghton?
Exactly. It's not. It's a very prominent area, with prominent people living in the area and stuff like that. There's definitely footage somehow, and also we haven't seen any footage of him in the hospital. Like, as in, there's a lot of questions.
I mean,
there.
there's a lot of questions there.
Yeah.
So, has he been shot? Well, I'm just going to take it from the Madlanga Commission on Wednesday.
Yeah.
They did seem to accept that he's been shot. So I'm going to go with Madlanga Commission. I'm not sure if you'd be able to pull the wool over South Africans' eyes, and it would if he hasn't been shot, it would really not look good for the Mill Park Hospital.
Do you know why I think most people are asking this question about the shooting, and it's bringing up so many questions? I think also if you've been following the case and stuff like that, the witnesses that are going to testify against certain things have been taken out.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been taken out. And we've seen the professional hits around the witnesses and things like that. And I really, for me personally, it raises the questions to be like, how do you go from such professional hits of witnesses just being taken out like that, to him still being alive? And now, I don't wish death upon anyone and stuff like that, but it just raises questions to say that if it was an assassination attempt, with what we've seen with the other witnesses and
They
things
don't
like
survive.
that, they don't survive.
Why
the
was he not
attempt.
shot in the face?
Do you understand? So that's why it raises, if just looking at that without even going into the depth of what he was going to testify about and things like that, just looking at how the other witnesses have been taken out, because they were about to testify because of a WhatsApp voice note, whatever, or gone missing, to him being shot, no bullet damage being shown in his car, and these are 2 days before he was meant to testify
Probably
in
3
court.
days.
2 or
Well,
3 days, yeah.
2.5 because it was late at night.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you take recently, there was that DA candidate for city council in Cape Town. That lady, she was taken out.
Yeah.
And normally when you have these people being taken out, most of them don't survive. But the other thing also though, Gigs, is if you get involved with the bad people, guys like General Khan, Suleiman Karim, Kat Matlala, all of them being Muslim, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. And people are not talking about that. Trust me, imagine if General Khan, Suleiman Karim, and Kat Matlala were pastors.
Oh, it would have been big situation.
Why? Imagine they were all born again Christians, taking communion and all that sort of stuff, raising their hands in worship, part of a big church here in South Africa. Can you imagine what the media would be saying? And why are people not asking these questions? And
Yep.
and the thing is, the reality is with a guy like General Khan, if you get involved with the kind of people he's been involved with, then the people that you're working with that are behind the scenes could very easily take you out to stop you talking. So that is potentially what happened to General Khan.
Yeah.
And then also his lawyers have been trying to claim that they mustn't go through all his WhatsApps and that, which are extremely incriminating, because they could expose national security, classified secrets and stuff.
This is a matter of national security when it comes to the Madlanga Commission.
I'm saying Madlanga actually challenged them and said the request is vague. And if there's stuff that implicates national security, then you have to give a context. What is the context?
Yeah.
What info are you talking about? Justice Madlanga said, or Commissioner Madlanga, I think is now termed in the commission, said to the lawyers, you cannot just apply, for stuff to be classified based on the fact that the commission must just take General Khan's word for it. There has to be context given, and there has to be something that the commission can chew the fat over and decide whether to, protect the information and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a cover. And the moment I hear people saying they can't discuss this because of national security, then they're covering stuff up.
Yeah. When we look at what the Madlanga Commission has revealed that investigators intended to question Khan about, it was the thousands of WhatsApp messages. Obviously, we just spoke about the different WhatsApp messages, the financial disclosure forms, banking records, and company shareholdings. Commission counsel stated that Khan's declared finances did not appear to match the financial information obtained during the investigation. And the commission also referred to allegations that companies linked to Khan benefited from government contracts, including an IT contract involving the National Treasury. And these allegations remained untested and have not been decided by the court. And when we look at what the law says, South African law generally prohibits public servants from conducting business with the state where conflict of interest exists. I mean, if you've read any contract with any company, conflict of interest is always a major thing in the labor law with just general work. But now going into public servants and stuff like that, I'm sure it even goes deeper. So commentators argue that if the allegations against Khan are proven, they could result in disciplinary action, dismissal, and criminal charges. Others point to previous labor court and CCMA decisions showing that conflicts of interest have led to dismissals in the past. The Baskev, I think, to ask the question that I have for you here is, what is the bigger political debate around this whole thing with what's his name, Feroz Khan and his shooting and him not testifying in the Madlanga Commission?
One of the things that has come out, you've alluded to conflict of interest, and some of the stuff that was said by the evidence leaders at the Madlanga Commission on Wednesday. There's supposed today's Friday, so there's supposed to be testimony happening later today where they're going to present the evidence anyway without General Khan being able to answer, which is the same as what happened with Suleiman Karim.
Yeah.
So it's actually better if you're there, because then you can try and give explanations. Because the evidence with Suleiman Karim was so bad, and now he's in intensive care somewhere. Now Feroz Khan's in intensive care. Everyone's in intensive care. You know what I'm saying? And I hope Feroz Khan, doesn't pass away from whatever injuries. They're saying he's in a critical condition, and if he was shot twice in the abdomen, he will be in a critical condition. So I hope he doesn't pass away, and I hope he has to face the justice. But he should be arrested the moment he gets out of hospital, because according to the law, General Khan, is not allowed to be a director at any company that engages with the state. And, there are IT companies that had IT contracts, of which he's a director with National Treasury. Also, you mentioned the fact that there was a discrepancy between what General Khan had declared and what they found on his bank statements. All right. And also, as an employee of the police, General Khan would have had to give financial disclosures to the Sovereign Police Services. But his actual financial position is very different. And so, there's an act called the Public Finance Management Act, PFMA, where a lot of the guys who've been arrested with Cat Matlala over Cat Matlala's Medi 24, tenders, that if public officials don't stop corruption, then they are criminally liable. And then there's also the Public Service Act, and these laws strictly prohibit SAPS members from conducting business with the state, and a breach that carries criminal penalties and potential dismissal. Now, you've got IDAC, which is the independent. It's supposed to investigate corruption within the police, and what's her name? Something Johnson. I can't remember her name. Anthea or something Johnson. And she's married to a Muslim. All right, she's actually married to a Muslim. She's the head of IDAC, and they're not investigating all of this stuff. They're not investigating all of this stuff. And so the question is why? The stuff is, many of these things have been raised with him. And so what's happening is that what it looks like is that many organizations that claim to be fighting crime are actually serving like some criminal cartel. And they're only targeting, and we're talking about including IDAC, specific factions within the SAP that threaten their own interests. So from the evidence that came out on Wednesday, Feroz Khan should be in jail.
Yeah.
And, looking at this, one has to look at specifically, where's the funding coming from? And why are people in positions as senior as the presidency of South Africa? Why are they doing what seems to many people? Why are they seeming to be selling South Africans out to the Muslims?
Speaking about that, I don't know if you saw the cabinet reshuffle, and the Deputy Minister of Higher Education is a man by the name of Mr. Yusuf Kasim.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's controlling everything.
Yes.
Because there have been some very nefarious, tenders, and then they're trying to pin it on the DA Minister of Education. But the DA Minister has no control. But then one also has to ask why the DA have not made a big stink about this. Why have they kept quiet? And if they've kept, and the fact that if you're the Minister of Education and you've kept quiet, then you are complicit, aren't you?
Yep.
And the thing about what's happened now in South Africa is that there's a few organizations where Muslims are in charge, but most of them, they're like the 2IC or they're the Director General or something like that, and they're wielding huge power. Even I know like the Gideon's organization, which takes, for example, puts Bibles in hospitals and things. Muslims get into positions of power, and then they prohibit the Gideons from doing that in a country where 86% of the population are Christians. So why are the Muslims being given so much power in South Africa? And people need to ask, why is the ANC allowing this? And now that the DA is in the government of national unity, why are they allowing it? And why are none of them talking about this?
Yeah.
I mean, we've just been going through the whole March and March thing. And the thing that's bringing this to a head, that's causing South Africans to react, is Somalis taking over shops and using mafia-style tactics to take over the township economy. I mean, I heard another report from an area close to here called Overton. Apparently that's happened there as well. That the Somalis walk in, they threaten the shop owner, say, leave the shop or we're going to kill you. And they've taken over all the shops. And this has been in the last year or two. And how are these Somalians getting into the country? How are they being allowed to conduct business? How are they being allowed to conduct business with illegal firearms in their shops? And there have been a lot of incidents happening where they've shot someone and then the community reacts and wants to burn the shop down. And then it just gets passed off by the media as being xenophobic. This is what's going on. And now when you really look at at the Madlanga Commission, my concern is that no one's asking the question about the Islamic connection as being, what seems to me to be coming out as the source of the finance behind the corruption.
Yep.
And these guys are the beneficiaries of this stuff.
When we look at the whole thing, yes, there's obviously questions around General Khan and the shooting. There's questions around what he was going to testify, what the financial allegations actually show, and has the law been applied equally to everyone? We obviously know the answer to that, but it goes deeper than that. I mean, when you start hearing the people who are in charge, when you start hearing when you start looking into these networks and stuff like that, you actually start realizing that, hey, South Africa has a bigger problem than just the Madlanga Commission inquiry and all of these things. There's actually, an Islam takeover that is happening right under our noses, and we are not seeing that, or that we are not focused on that because we are distracted by other things.
Well, can I tell you what the distraction is?
Yeah.
When the people take the eyes off God, all right, and you get a nefarious philosophy like Islam coming, you're susceptible. And what is the God for many of these people in very powerful, influential positions in the country? Their God is money. And so they're doing everything to get money. And if you've got people that have got economic power that are able to feed you your God, then those people can get anything right.
Yeah.
And this is what we're seeing. So what we're seeing is a moral weakness in South Africa, which is being exploited. And this exploitation can result in the nation being overrun.
Yeah.
And therefore, churches, Christians, you need to understand, start praying for revival and start preaching for revival.
Yeah.
Because I can promise you now, the outcome is going to be a lot worse than what things are now. If we don't start really seeing a massive revival take place in South Africa. And the reality is, it's only when Jesus comes into the hearts of people and changes them that this stuff changes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm hearing people saying that in order to save South Africa, you need to change the political system. My view is, you can have any political system you want. If the people's hearts are not changed, that system will fail you. Because the human heart is deceitful above all things, the Bible says. And you've got to therefore guard your heart with all diligence, the Bible also says, because out of your heart flow the issues of life.
Yeah.
And we can see that in South Africa. South Africa has a population that is overwhelmingly Christian, yet we claim we're not a Christian nation. And churches, you need to start preaching the gospel. You need to start preaching straight. You need to start challenging people that are blaming the church. And one of the favorite statements that I'm hearing from people in church and outside the church alike is, yeah, but these Nigerian pastors. Listen, start telling people, get your hands off the pastors. I was speaking to someone from the South African Church Defenders, and he was telling me that apparently, pastors from outside South Africa can get a religious visa to come in and be a pastor.
Okay.
They're allowed to be here.
Yeah.
So any pastor out there and you haven't got your documentation sorted out, please get it sorted out.
Yeah.
Please come in the right way.
Yeah.
You're a man of God or a woman of God, therefore make sure that you come in the right way. I'm not going to defend you if you don't come in the right way. But you can come in. And we as the Church of South Africa, we welcome you. And I know that there's some people that call themselves pastors that are doing the wrong stuff. But gigs, no pastor's been implicated in Madlanga.
Yeah.
And can I tell you what frustrates me about this? I went to a meeting with the chair of the Section 22 committee for the CRL's the CRL's attempt to regulate the church, saying that the church needs to be regulated. And they said that these pastors make money and then they influence the police and they get away with crime. But then we would have seen pastors implicated in Madlanga.
Yeah.
And we haven't. We haven't. We've seen plenty Muslims. And I'm asking, well, now, what now? Okay, what now? At the end of the day, why, why South Africa are you allowing your media to talk rubbish? This thing that's happened with General Khan, there's always problems with these Muslim guys when they have to testify at the Madlanga Commission. So I really want to encourage you, open your eyes, but you need to preach hard. And you need to preach the gospel. And you need to get people saved. And we need to see a revival in South Africa.
In Romans chapter 13, verse 11, it says, "And do this, understanding the present time. The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber, because our salvation is nearer now than we first believed."
That is a call to the Church of South Africa. All right? And the church is not just the pastors. The church is every single Christian in South Africa. It's time for us, for the church, to arise and to wake up from our slumber. That means that every one of us Christians, we need to put our alarm clock on and we need to wake up.
Yeah.
Have a good cup of coffee and go out and start doing the work of the Lord. If you don't give your life to the cause of the Lord Jesus Christ, evil will rule in this nation. If people get saved in large numbers, evil will not rule in this nation.
Yeah.
Evil cannot triumph where the presence of God is.
Yeah.
Evil cannot triumph where the Spirit of God is moving. I believe you even heal the ground, that the ground will yield bigger crops if there's a mighty revival in the nation. I'm mightily inspired myself by the Christians in China. And the Christians in China have been severely persecuted. But you know that China is one of the countries in the world that's providing the most Christian missionaries, especially to the Islamic world. There are many underground pastors coming from China working in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And there's the Silk Road Initiative, but what people don't realize, the Chinese church has a Silk Road Initiative. I'm telling you, there's a lot of reason for hope. I'm telling you, the Lord is moving.
Yeah.
The Spirit of God is moving all over the world. And people are being saved, even in places like Iran, where that regime is absolutely terrible in terms of their treatment of the church. The church is growing. And there's a statement that I like to say for myself, even for the church that I pastor. And that is that the hand of God is upon the church. And the church will grow. And God will bring his sheep.
Amen.
That's where the hope of South Africa lies. For all South Africans out there, the hope of South Africa lies in the fact that the gates of hell will not prevail against the church of Lord Jesus Christ. And the church will grow. And Christ will bring his sheep.
Amen. This has been an amazing show and an amazing conversation. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm your girl, Cynthia. But you can call me Gix. And with me in studio, we've had
Gavin Enston.
Pastor Gavin Enston, right here on The Political Show, where Christ politics is
Hot politics.
hot politics.